Have you ever felt like certain choices you make, or maybe even just the way you look at things, consistently seem to lead you down paths of frustration?
Yeah. While other ways of being just seem to, open doors. Things feel clearer, easier.
Exactly. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into some ancient wisdom that offers a remarkably clear framework for understanding just that.
We're drawing from some pretty profound Pali texts, specifically a collection called the Oguttara Nikaya.
Right. And these texts, they basically lay out a kind of blueprint, wouldn't you say, for understanding what leads to beneficial results in our lives and what leads to, well, the opposite.
Absolutely. And this isn't just like abstract philosophy. It's presented as a very practical guide.
Yeah.
It's almost a shortcut to understanding the direct cause and effect between your inner world and your outer actions.
Okay.
So our mission here really is to pull out the most potent insights from these ancient teachings. We want to show you how this wisdom maps directly onto the quality of your experience, like right now.
Okay, let's jump in then. The core of this whole deep dive seems to revolve around what these texts call two contrasting sets of 10 factors.
Think of them as two very distinct paths you can walk.
One path is associated with wrongness or maybe unskillful ways of being.
Yeah, micchatta is the term.
Yeah.
And the other with rightness or skillful ways, sammatta.
And it's a really comprehensive framework, isn't it? It seems to cover almost every aspect of how a person lives their life.
It really does. And what's fascinating, I think, is that these aren't just isolated ideas thrown out there.
No.
No, the sources explicitly list these 10 factors for each path. And they show how one leads to the next, how they build on each other, creating this kind of momentum.
Okay, so what are they for the wrongness path?
Right. So for micchatta, you've got wrong view, wrong intention, wrong speech, wrong action, wrong livelihood, then wrong effort, wrong mindfulness, wrong concentration, wrong knowledge, and finally, wrong liberation.
Wow, okay. 10 distinct things.
Yeah.
And the rightness path.
It mirrors it exactly. Just the positive counterparts. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right knowledge, and right liberation.
So what's the payoff or the consequence? What do these paths lead to according to the texts?
They're very direct about it.
Yeah.
The path of wrongness, micchatta, consistently leads to failure, hindrance, suffering.
And rightness.
Sammatta leads to attainment, success, true accomplishment, happiness. It really paints this direct cause and effect chain.
So it suggests that our fundamental orientation, like where we start from, our view, that pretty much dictates the whole journey.
That's exactly it. And this is where the wisdom gets really insightful and practical.
How so?
Well, imagine a seed. One of the key sources, the Bhajja Sutta, uses this really vivid analogy.
Wait, okay.
It asks you to think about planting a bad seed, like, say, a bitter neem seed or maybe a bitter gourd seed. Even if you plant it in the best soil, perfectly fertile, plenty of water, everything that grows from that seed will still be bitter, harsh, unpleasant.
Because the seed itself was bad.
Precisely. The text literally says, dikavakave papika. The view is bad. The inherent quality of that starting point, the seed, determines the outcome.
And the reverse is true too, I assume?
Just as clearly. Plant a good seed, sugarcane, maybe rice, or grapeseed.
Okay.
In that same fertile earth, everything it produces will be sweet, pleasant, delicious. And again, the text concludes, ditahi bikavi padaka. The view is good.
So that really brings up a crucial question, doesn't it? How does the seed analogy apply to our actual lives, our actions?
The source connects it directly. It says, if your fundamental view, your micchatta, your core understanding of reality, what's right, what's wrong, if that's skewed.
If the seed is bad.
Exactly. Then all your subsequent actions, bodily actions, what you say, your mental processes, your intentions, your hopes, your plans, even the kind of person you become, all of it will naturally lead to results that are undesirable, harmful, ultimately suffering. But, and this is the really hopeful part, if your view is right, samadhi,
If the seed is good.
then those exact same elements, your actions, words, thoughts, intentions, they lead to desirable, beneficial, and blissful outcomes. Your core view isn't just some abstract idea floating around.
No, it's foundational.
It's the fundamental seed determining the entire harvest of your life.
Wow. Okay, so building on that, the view is the seed. It makes you wonder what actually starts the whole process. What plants that seed in the first place? What's the ultimate forerunner, that sets us on one path or the other?
That's a great question, and the texts address it directly. They point to two really powerful forerunners.
Okay.
On one side, there's ignorance, avidya. A fundamental lack of clear understanding, basically.
Like not seeing things as they are.
Exactly. And this ignorance is described as the unmistakable forerunner of all unwholesome states. And it often comes with a lack of shame, or what they call moral dread, not being concerned about the consequences of your actions.
I see.
So, for someone operating from that place of ignorance, a wrong view, micchatta, just naturally arises. And that then triggers the whole cascade.
The 10 wrong factors we talked about. Wrong intention, wrong speech.
The whole chain, yeah.
It's like wearing blurry glasses, maybe. And everything you try to do is based on that initial lack of clarity.
That's a good way to put it. But then on the flip side,
There's knowledge.
or awareness, vijja, that's presented as the direct forerunner of wholesome states.
Yep.
And it's accompanied by the opposite, a deep sense of shame and moral dread, or integrity, hiri and ottappa.
So for the person who sees clearly,
Right view, sammatta, blossoms. And that right view then leads into the entire chain of the 10 skillful factors, right intention, right speech, and so on.
it really highlights a fundamental difference in how our actions even begin to unfold, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And if we connect this to sort of the bigger picture, another text, the Pubbagama Sutta, uses this other beautiful analogy.
Oh, yeah.
It says, just as the dawn is the unmistakable forerunner of the sunrise, you see the dawn, you know the sun is coming.
Right.
In the same way, right view is presented as the absolute forerunner of all wholesome states developing.
So it's not just like one part of the path.
No, it's positioned as the very first ripple, the thing that sets the whole positive wave in motion,
Yeah.
the starting point that makes all the difference.
Okay, this is really clarifying. Now, we often think about purification, maybe in a spiritual context, as involving external rituals, right? Things we do.
Sure. Bathing, ceremonies, offerings.
Exactly. But our sources, they offer this really striking contrast. There's a story about a Brahmin, a priest named Yanuso.
Ah, yes, I know the one. He's doing his traditional purification ritual.
Right. Bathing, putting on new robes, anointing the earth, worshiping a fire, feeding other Brahmins, the works.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks the Buddha about his purification practice, his pakorohan, wondering if it's, similar.
And this is such a fantastic anecdote because it really highlights the practical distinction being made.
What does the Buddha say?
Well, he essentially says, yes, your ritual exists, the Brahman pakorohan, but the noble pakorohan, purification within this noble discipline, is fundamentally different.
How so? Not outward acts.
Not primarily.
Hmm.
Instead, it's about deeply, profoundly recognizing the negative consequences, the bad results of each of those 10 wrong factors we listed earlier.
Wrong view, wrong intention, etc.
Exactly. Recognizing their harm not just now, but how they ripple out into the future. And then, crucially, it's about consciously abandoning them.
Abandoning.
Only descending from them, the text implies. Letting go of these unskillful qualities from the inside out.
Wow. So it's less about what you do externally to cleanse yourself.
And much more about what you release and let go of internally. What you stop doing, stop thinking, stop intending.
And the Brahmin's reaction in the story.
It's quite telling, isn't it? He immediately acknowledges that his traditional, elaborate ritual isn't worth even a 16th part, a tiny fraction, of this noble purification.
And he takes refuge, right? He embraces the teaching.
He does. It shows the power of understanding this internal purification. And this ties directly into other texts, like the Nijara Sutta,
Nijara.
which talks about the wearing away, or the eradication, the washing away of those wrong factors.
Ah, okay.
It states very clearly, when right view is developed, when it's cultivated consistently,
Then wrong view just.
it gets worn away, it diminishes. And all the unwholesome states that arise because of that wrong view, they also vanish.
And that applies across the board to all 10 pairs.
So all 10. Cultivating right intention wears away wrong intention. Cultivating right speech wears away wrong speech, and so on. Actively developing the right factor literally eradicates its opposite.
So it's not just adding good things, it's actively removing the bad.
It's presented as a complete internal transformation,
Yeah.
one that leads towards genuine freedom.
Okay, so this whole deep dive, it's really shown us these right and wrong factors aren't just, philosophical concepts. They're practical blueprints for living.
Incredibly practical, and the sources, they dedicate whole sections, multiple suttas, just to spelling out the tangible implications, the real-world outcomes.
What do they say consistently about the wrong factors?
Well, across different texts, like in the Sadhuvago and Aryavago sections, those 10 wrong factors, micchatta, are consistently defined as Unwholesome, unskillful, not beneficial, unrighteous.
Sounds pretty bad.
It is. They're described as being with defilements, reproachable, causing torment or vexation.
So leading to negative experiences.
Definitely. They lead to the accumulation of suffering. They lead to suffering. They result in suffering. No ambiguity there.
They call it the ignoble path, the dark path, the false dhamma, the qualities of a bad person, essentially things that should not be produced, not resorted to, not developed, not even remembered, and ultimately things that shouldn't be realized or aimed for. Okay, a very clear warning sign. And the 10 right factors, sammatta. The complete opposite, I assume.
The absolute mirror image. They are consistently defined as wholesome, skillful, beneficial, righteous.
Good things.
Yes, without defilements, irreproachable, not causing torment, and crucially,
They lead away from suffering.
they lead to the eradication of suffering. They lead to happiness, result in happiness.
That's a powerful contrast.
It is. They're called the noble path, the bright path, the true Dhamma, the qualities of a good person. These are the things that should be produced, should be resorted to, developed, practiced frequently, remembered, and ultimately realized.
So a clear prescription for well-being.
And the texts even go further. They make this pretty bold claim. They say that these pure, clean practices,
Weird factors.
yes, which are of great fruit and benefit, leading to the removal of passion, aversion, delusion, conducive to complete disenchantment, dispassion, cessation, peace, direct knowledge, perfect awakening, nibbana.
That ultimate goal.
That these practices, this specific path, are not found elsewhere than in the discipline of the Fortunate One, meaning the Buddha. It's a strong statement about the unique efficacy they saw in this framework.
Okay. So we've seen how these 10 factors really influence every part of our experience, haven't we? From that foundational view.
Right down to our daily actions and words and their consequences, both immediate and long-term.
But what's the ultimate destination? If someone really cultivates these right ways, where does it lead? What's the final goal?
Well, the Asavakaya Sutta puts it very directly. It says that these 10 right factors, when they are fully developed and cultivated,
Yes.
they lead straight to the destruction of the defilements, Aisavanakaya.
Destruction of defilements. What does that mean practically?
It means shedding those deep-seated mental impurities or taints, things like sensual craving, the desire for existence, and fundamentally ignorance itself, greed, hatred, delusion at their root.
So it's about cessation of suffering at its deepest level.
That's exactly how it's presented. A profound and complete liberation from the things that bind us and cause distress.
And tying it back, you mentioned earlier these factors of awakening. How do they fit in?
Right. The Bhushagga Sutta connects the dots. It reveals that the development of 7 specific qualities. Mindfulness, investigation of phenomena, energy or persistence, rapture or joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity.
Okay, those 7 factors.
When these are fully developed, they fulfill or bring to completion 3 kinds of knowledge, or higher knowledges.
3 kinds of knowledge. What are they?
They're quite profound. First, the ability to recall one's own past lives in incredible detailed circumstances, names, experiences.
Wow.
Second, what's called the divine eye, the ability to see beings passing away and being reborn according to their karma, their actions, understanding that cycle.
Okay, that's remarkable. And the third?
And this is often seen as the most crucial. The direct realization through one's own direct knowledge, right here and now, in this very life. The realization and dwelling in liberation of mind and liberation by wisdom, completely free from all those defilements, those asavas.
So complete freedom achieved in this life.
That's the ultimate fruition presented. The complete unshackling of the mind, leading to a state of unshakable peace and freedom. And it all stems from cultivating that path of rightness, starting with right view.
This deep dive, it's really laid out such a clear choice for us, hasn't it?
It really has.
It powerfully illustrates how our fundamental perspective, that view, it really does act like that seed.
Yeah, systematically determining the harvest of our lives,
Yeah.
shaping every thought, word, and action that follows.
And it highlights that genuine purification, that lasting liberation. It isn't really about grand external gestures or maybe fleeting rituals.
No, it's about the profound, consistent internal work. Abandoning what's unwholesome, what causes harm.
And cultivating what is truly beneficial, what leads to peace.
Exactly. Leading to a freedom that the texts suggest is completely within reach. It's not some far-off dream.
So for you, our listener, what this really means is that a consistent, intentional focus on those right factors, maybe starting by just examining your core view, that focus can systematically dismantle the wrong ones. It can lead not just to, better outcomes day to
Oh,
day.
that's part of it.
Right, but ultimately towards a state of really deep peace and liberation.
So maybe consider this.
Yeah.
If just one single right view, one clear understanding can be the forerunner to all those other beneficial states,
Yeah.
what small intentional shift in your own foundational perspective right now could potentially trigger the greatest positive chain reaction in your life? Where could that ripple start for you?
That sounds like a deep dive for you to take on your own.